Hey there. Welcome to Vancouver, where they're closing down behind me. It's the end of the World Cup hosting here in Canada. After what was, let's be honest, probably a pretty poor game between Switzerland and Colombia to finish proceedings here in Switzerland, like the champions of Canada. 3 wins in a row here in Vancouver to progress, but a game to forget. It's a shame. I mean, I've actually come to this part of the world. They call it the Pacific Northwest. That's where I've been since leaving Miami after I suppose, the drama of Argentina and Cape Verde, to come here for something a little bit different. Probably came with expectations that you could maybe get 2 big celebrations. It would have been starting off in Seattle for the game between the US and Belgium, and then coming here for the Colombia-Switzerland game. Now, I think it's obviously well documented by now that the USA-Belgium game took on a life of its own. Nothing to do with the football. I mean, it was my first chance to see USA in the tournament, and you get to Seattle it's actually Saturday night into Sunday. Lovely climate, perfectly sort of warm weather, but not that sort of sticky humidity that you have elsewhere. And a real sort of football town. If you look at the history of Seattle Sounders, a real passion for the sport there historically. So like a perfect venue for the US to have the biggest game in their history. And yet you get there, the news comes through about the Balogun suspension, and there's just a different cloud hanging over the whole event. And people know what happened by now. Belgium obviously stuffed them in the match, but it was just sort of deflating overall, like just from the early minutes. As much as I was in one of these indoor press boxes where you don't really get a sense of the vibe outside, Belgium sort of silenced the crowd early anyway, in terms of their dominance, in terms of their control, and it was game over early, and you end up afterwards in this cycle of recrimination around the political intervention, the Ted Cruz and Donald Trump videos, and FIFA sending out multiple statements. And ultimately, probably the best result that FIFA could have got from that game was Belgium winning, because otherwise I don't know where we would have been this week in terms of the aftermath. So I've kind of mixed feelings, but when you don't have a stake in the game, you kind of wonder which result would have put more scrutiny on FIFA. Probably would have been a US win, but they were beaten so badly. And it was such a non-event and anti-climax that it's hard really to feel a huge amount of sympathy for them. So then I moved on here to Vancouver. I suppose the thinking was to try and do 2 games in 2 countries in the space of 24 hours, because it was a 5 p.m. kickoff in Seattle, and obviously 8 hours behind Ireland. So over here, like, this is where a lot of the late night games in the Irish time has been. So yeah, I had a sort of I think it's 2.5 hours by road. It's a little bit longer by bus. With the sort of stoppages, 3.5, 4 hours is the border patrol halfway through. And I sort of liked the idea of it. There was a lot of Colombian fans on the 7 a.m. bus getting here to Vancouver for a 1 p.m. kickoff. And to be honest, I could give some tale of drama and stuff now. It wasn't the case. It was actually very smooth, almost in keeping, which just seems very serene in this part of the world. The vibe just very relaxed compared to maybe some of the intensity elsewhere. And then you're kind of hoping that Colombia would bring the noise. And when I got in here, certainly, like, it was Colombian fans everywhere on the streets around the place. And you remember, like, the symbolism of Colombia and the World Cup in America in 1994, and Andres Escobar and everything that came with it. And I guess, yeah, you're neutral, but you almost get on board. But okay, this could be a moment for Colombia, the chance to face Argentina. Watching that game on the bus on the way up, the Colombian fans were reacting to the goals and almost giddy about the prospect. Well, they wanted Egypt to win, I'm not going to lie, but then almost giddy at the prospect of the derby. What happens then is just a really flat football match where it doesn't ignite. The stadium is 90%, 95%, 98% Colombian. They have it's going to penalties from an early stage. It's almost inevitable. And they have a flip of a coin before. So which end are they going to go? Well, there's Colombian fans at one end or Colombian fans at the other, trying every tactic in the book to intimidate the Swiss, but they weren't broken. They took the better penalties, and really in a game, Colombia had the chances in extra time, but nobody could say they were really unlucky. Switzerland held their nerve, and they will go on to face Argentina. And as we have a rest day, we've got 6 European teams out of 8. And yeah, just flat. I do like this part of the world. It's Canada. I know there's a distinction obviously between the Canadian wing of the competition and the American, but obviously Seattle and Vancouver are very much together. Just with distance, there's possibly been a little bit peripheral. As I've mentioned, it's Switzerland who've made their home here, and maybe in itself, that's not a story that people are going to remember from the competition. They might be dangerous still for Argentina, who are a little bit all over the shop despite getting through. You sort of know what you're going to get from the Swiss. It's not going to thrill everyone, but they are still there. They're still alive. And Colombia, they brought a lot of life, a lot of colour. I think they probably compared, hearing anecdotal tales, even someone was saying in the Azteca, the Colombian noise was comparable to the Mexican noise. And there was a bit of that here with the expats. But yeah, just in Canada, similar to Seattle, just ended up a little bit low-key, an anticlimax and the competition now. I'm going to move on to LA, where you do have Spain against Belgium before things gradually move back towards the east for the finale. And obviously, I suppose for at home, that means at least the kickoff times will be a little bit more manageable. But yeah, signing off from Canada, which says farewell to the World Cup as the action moves back, the focus moves completely back to the United States.